This is Barnstable Today for Tuesday, October 7th. Welcome aboard. I'm Mark Mumford.
Another round of underage beer sale hearings in front of the licensing authority is our top story. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kevin Friel.
8 more establishments in town have received 2-day license suspensions with 1 day to be served and 1 day held in abeyance from a summertime sting operation.
However, one other establishment, the Black Spot on Ocean Street, challenged the way the sting went down.
First, we hear from Lieutenant Jason from the Barnstable PD at yesterday's hearing, followed by the Black Spot's manager, Micah Power.
With as few officers as we have to police these businesses, and with how many businesses there are, which I believe are somewhere in the neighborhood of 120 to 125, we've felt that the best policing is self-policing, and hoping that the agencies would do that for themselves. We did go out and visit approximately 66 businesses over 3 separate nights in July and August, and we're a little disappointed in the results. There were, I believe, 22 infractions.
I was just saying that Officer Warmington and Officer Marshall came in, and I immediately thought that something was up with them because they were scoping out the place, and I thought there were 3 possibilities: that they were attempting to steal something from me because I have strange art and guitars, or that they were under 21, or that they were trying to sting me. Those are the only 3 options that I had come up with in my mind. So I fully intended when he was going to approach me, which I had to wait for a little bit, that he was going to ask for a beer, and I was going to card him. I actually I cleaned the bar by them, so it looked like I was cleaning the bar and not noticing them, and watched their activity. And then he came up behind the pillar, ordered the Bud Light. I did, if the order of things, because I was being cocky, I did get out the Bud Light, and I put it behind the taps, behind a muffin tin plate. It's a pie plate, a big glass dome on top, and put it in a place that is not available for the public to necessarily reach, except if they really wanted to, and intending to ID him at all times. I turned my head for a second. I turned back. He looked at me, looked a little disgusted, and reached 5 feet over and grabbed the beer from behind the bar, slid it across the bar, spilling it, and Officer Warmington took a picture with his phone camera, and it flashed. It created such a ruckus that people turned around and thought that I was in trouble, because I have quite a nice crowd that I usually have in. And the guitarist in mid performance stepped down off the stage.
Would it be your policy when someone comes in, looks underage, to get the alcoholic beverage out and open it, and then hold it, and then ask for the ID?
No, actually no. I was being cocky. I often, when I know someone's going to do something, I tend to be a little more vicious. I made a girl cry once when she came up with their ID.
But would you be wasting a beer if, in fact, they were not underage? Or would you give it away, or what would you do with that beer that you opened up, and if you asked for ID and he said, no, I don't have any, and walked out? Yeah, I'm just wondering your policy of not asking someone right away if they're underage.
I'm sorry. I did think about that when I got it out, and I said, well, it is a Bud Light. I don't mind throwing that out. But also, I knew that Colin, a regular of mine who only orders Bud Light, was coming in to see the band, so I'd sell it to him. And I'd like to say at that point, you're saying, I am definitely positive that I saw Officer Warmington, who is 6'1", with a baby face, who I thought he was going to try to order.
The licensing authority will continue with the show cause hearings for the Black Spot at their next meeting on the 27th.
Meanwhile, with the Big Fall for Arts Weekend having just passed, we spoke with Arts Foundation of Cape Cod Board of Directors President Margaret Van Schrijver. Maggie, thanks for joining us. The Fall for the Arts Weekend has come and gone. How was it?
It was fabulous. It exceeded our expectations.
How many groups and organizations participated this year?
Well, we initiated this event in 3 towns simultaneously, in Dennis, Hyannis, and Falmouth. And including those 3 towns, we had over 60 restaurants and over 150 businesses, most of them arts-based organizations.
Wow, that's quite impressive. That must have taken a lot of preparation and planning for this. What went into that?
Oh, so many people to thank. The Arts Foundation of Cape Cod is, of course, Cape Cod's regional arts organization. So we begin with an excellent staff and an excellent board. But we partnered on this event with the Cape Cod View, and it was really their vision jointly with ours. And then we worked with partners in each community. In Hyannis, we worked with the Hyannis Area Chamber of Commerce, and with the BID, and with the Cape Cod Art Association, and also with a lot of individual artists and business owners that had a real interest in what we were doing.
So let's focus our attention a little bit to what happened in Hyannis this weekend. What were the events that were ongoing?
Oh, there was an awful lot going on in Hyannis. People that attended really had a lot of choices. Right here on the Village Green, we had musical performances both Saturday and Sunday afternoon. Dixieland Diehards, the Tripping Lily Group, Stanley and Grimm, and Link Montana. And then, of course, you saw the big tents. We had over 45 individual artists who were members or affiliated with the Cape Cod Art Association, and they brought work in a variety of media. They had children's activities and just an awful lot going on there.
And there's also a restaurant tied to all of this. Could you tell us a little bit about what they've done?
You bet. I mentioned when I was talking about our participants that we had so many restaurants. This is what we call a cultural tourism initiative, and the idea is that someone comes perhaps to see one thing, but they stay and make a day of it. So residents and visitors came, and they would go to a museum they might not have seen before, or they'd go to a gallery, and then they'd stay and they would enjoy lunch or they would enjoy dinner at one of the fabulous restaurants in the Hyannis area.
Maggie, there's also a couple Barnstable local art galleries that are involved on Pearl Street.
Yes, we have fabulous galleries in Hyannis. And there's been a real renaissance that the town of Hyannis has led within the area. If we look just at the Pearl Street area as an example, and I'll refer to my notes because there are so many I cannot remember them. Pearl Street galleries include the Gallery at 20 Pearl, which is brand new, the Geyer Barn, of course, the Inner Pearl Studio, the Mayflower Studio, the wonderful Sarah Hall Artscape, Breakdown, I think I mentioned. And more. And each of these galleries had activities, and their doors were open, and they were filled with guests. And that just complemented the other museums and the other galleries in the area. The Zion Union Heritage Museum, which has African American and Cape Verdean exhibits and art, is open and very new. The JFK Museum had that wonderful, and I believe still has, a wonderful exhibit with the Cape Cod Baseball League Hall of Fame. And so folks that came to the area had these choices as well as some of the popular favorites like the Cape Cod Conservatory, its Barnstable campus.
Maggie, thank you for joining us on Barnstable Today. That was great.
Thank you. Thanks for having us. And we look forward to seeing you next summer. This is going to be an annual event. And we'll do it again the first weekend of October, which is the launch of National Arts and Humanities Month.
Great. We look forward to it.
Thank you.
We're into some nice weather to break out the watercolors and get outside and test your talents tonight. Clear and cool with lows dipping down into the lower 40s. Then tomorrow, plenty of sunshine with light winds out of the northwest shifting to out of the southwest tomorrow afternoon with highs in the mid-60s.
On the meeting front here in town, a school committee workshop session in the hearing room at 7 this evening. Then tomorrow, Land Acquisition and Preservation Committee meets in the Selectmen's Conference Room at 7 p.m. And at the same time, it's the Old Kings Highway Committee gathering over at the Community Building in West Barnstable.
And don't forget, if you still need to get registered to vote in next month's election, you only have 8 more days. Registration will be wrapping up on the 15th.
And if you're looking forward to getting out the old ice skates, the Kennedy Rink opens for the season on Friday. That's going to do it for us today. I'm Kevin Friel.
We'll meet you right back here tomorrow. I'm Mark Mumford.